Please listen to me closely. You can't live in victory if you're still renting space in victimhood. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever caught yourself saying things like, why does this always happen to me? Why won't they give me a chance? Look, what you're calling frustration might actually be a victim mindset in disguise. And it's not just slowing you down, baby. No, it's slamming the brakes on your growth. So today I got you. I'm breaking down 5 ways to recognize when you're living with a victim mindset. And number 4, it's a guaranteed game changer. Are you ready? Let's go. Hey, what's going on? I'm Terrence Sams. Listen, today I'm going to share with you 5 ways to recognize when you're living with a victim mindset. And look, we're going to jump right into it. I'm not wasting any time. The first way to recognize is when we blame external circumstances. Look, this is when we point the fingers outward. We point at people or situations, systems, all for why we aren't where we want to be in life. And we say things like, if my parents hadn't been more supportive, or if I had more money, or if they didn't fire me. Look, I understand. Listen, all those things might be true, but here is the problem. Blaming external factors keep you stuck in the passenger seat of your life. It's almost like sitting in a parked car waiting for someone else to hand you the keys when God has already put the keys in your pocket. Yeah, look, according to a Harvard study, it says that employees who adopt a mindset of personal accountability are 50% more likely to advance in their careers. 50%. So here's how we're going to tackle this mindset. We have to shift from blame to responsibility. This basically means that we're moving from a mindset of powerlessness to a position of power. It's not about pretending that the pain didn't happen. It's actually about refusing to let that pain define you. Refusing to allow that pain to dictate your next move. So I like to give you what I like to call the now, the nuggets of wisdom. This is something you could do right now to shift everything in your life. So tonight and every night, I want you to ask yourself, what did I create today? Really ponder that question. Or what can I take ownership for tomorrow? And write it down, reflect on it, act upon it. Because once we stop pointing fingers and start pointing forward, here's what happens. We begin to take back the steering wheel of our life. See, when we shift from they did this to me to I get to choose my response, man, it unlocks the power inside of you. So here's what I want you to avoid though. Don't confuse responsibility with blame because they're not the same. See, blame says it's all my fault and it leads to shame. But responsibility says this is my life and I have the power to respond. Look, it's not about beating yourself up. It's about rising up and reclaiming your power to choose, reclaiming the power to grow and to move forward. Look, if you think that's all you need to know in order to recognize when you're living with a victim mindset, nah, number 2 will really get your mind going in the right direction. So the next way to recognize that we're living with a victim mentality is when we're expected to be rescued. So basically, you're waiting for someone else to like fix your life, like your boss, or your spouse, your parents, the government, even God. Like, listen to me. No one is coming to save you. You are the answer. You've got the power in your words. God didn't create you to blend in. He built you to break chains. The sad part is that some people, they have this belief that their breakthrough will come from the outside in instead of the inside out. And this is dangerous because when you expect to be rescued, you delay action. You delay responsibility, and even worse, you delay becoming a version of you that's already equipped to make massive impact in this world. So let me give you the now, the nugget of wisdom, okay? Here's what I need you to do. Here's how we're going to attack this issue. You must activate your inner hero. And here's how you do that. I want you to write a new identity statement, because the truth is, you can't live like a hero while thinking like a hostage. You're not a hostage. Like, your identity shapes your behavior. If you keep seeing yourself as broken or unworthy, your decisions will begin to mirror that. So I need you to intentionally create a new mental blueprint. And here's how you do it. I want you to start by writing a bold, faith-fueled I am statement. Yeah, an I am statement, and repeat that daily. For example, I am bold. I am built for this. I am a child of God, equipped, and I'm ready. I am not who hurt me. I am who healed me. Like, really look in the mirror and repeat that each and every day and watch things change. So number 3 might be the most obvious and the most infuriating way that this shows up. So the third sign that you're living with a victim mentality is when you begin to complain more than you create. Like, this may be a hard pill for some of you to swallow, but victims spend more energy talking about what's wrong and not building what's right. Like, they rehearse the problem over and over and over, but they don't produce the progress. See, complaining is a release valve. Creation is a power source. See, one drains and the other develops. And here's why constant complaining is problematic. Because it keeps you in a loop of frustration. Like, every time you complain, you reinforce the idea that you're powerless. And trust me, you're not powerless. And the second thing is it rewires your brain to focus on the problems. This is huge because neuroscience shows that repeated negative thinking strengthens the fear and doubt circuits in your brain. So, like, the more you complain, the more you see things to complain about. That's like the Israelites. They complained in the wilderness, and guess what? They stayed for 40 years in the wilderness. Why? Because complaining kept them mentally enslaved, even though they were physically free. That's why the Bible says in Philippians 2:14, do everything without complaining or arguing. Don't complain. And here's how we do it. Let me give you the nugget of wisdom. Look, I want you to start a creation hour. Here's what I mean. Every day, block out 60 minutes to build something, a post, a plan, a pitch. Replace complaining with constructing, okay? And number 2, I want you to use a reframe filter. See, every time you catch yourself saying things like, I can't stand this, or I can't do this, I want you to flip it. And flip it and say, what can I start that changes this? What can I create that changes this, that shifts this? What can I build that's going to make a difference in this? And do me a favor. Don't disguise venting as processing. Look, talking about problems without creating a path through it is just mental clutter. Also, don't bond with other negativity. That's easy. See, some people, they stay stuck because their community is built around mutual misery. Look, misery loves company. So protect your mind from complainers. Look, before I share with you the next way to recognize when you're operating with a victim mentality, I want you to scroll down and hit that subscribe button. I mean, if you're serious about leveling up your mindset and breaking free from that victim mentality, hit that subscribe button. All right, number 4, like I said, this is the game changer. This one right here, it really transformed the way I saw my life. And I promise, if you're open, it will shift your entire perspective as well. Are you ready? Because this one hits deep. So number 4 is you think life is happening to me instead of through me. Oh, come on. Look, when you think life is happening to you, You operate like a victim of circumstance. You feel like you're being tossed around by problems, delays, or betrayal. Man, but when you shift and believe that life is happening through you, you realize that everything, good, bad, indifferent, everything is an opportunity for growth. It's an opportunity for power, alignment, and purpose. See, the to me mindset is dangerous because it strips you of your spiritual authority. Like you forget that you're not just here to survive, you're actually here to co-create with God. It keeps you in emotional survival mode. Like you react to life instead of responding with wisdom and vision. And also it invites resentment instead of revelation. Like you ask, why me? Instead of, what is this here to teach me? Or how can God use this for my next level? So here is the now, the nugget of wisdom. Here's how we're going to move forward towards freedom. We have to activate the co-creator mindset with God. See, a co-creator mindset means you stop waiting on God to do everything for you and you start walking with him to birth, to build, and to become what he placed in your heart to become. See, God is the source, but he created you to be the vessel. He gave you the vision. He gave you the voice. He gave you the gift. And listen, he's waiting on you to move, not just to pray. So here's what we must do. We have to believe that God trusts us. Man, God trusts you. And this is where it all starts. Because most people don't act because they don't believe that they're qualified. God doesn't call to qualify. He qualifies to call. And number two, we have to make God your creative partner, not just your crisis counselor. Like, for real. Don't just go to God when everything's falling apart. I want you to go to him while you're building. Invite him into your planning, your designing, your content creating, your business blueprint. Everything, invite God into it. And finally, take spirit-led action. Even if it's small. Like God will guide you, but he won't do the work for you. Like for real, you're not waiting on a miracle, you're building towards one. So I need you to just take that step. And finally, the final way to recognize when you're living with a victim mentality is when you start to define yourself by your pain. Like you allow your past, your trauma, the betrayal, the rejection, you allow all of that to name you, to shape your identity and to limit your potential. Instead of learning from the pain, you started living in it. Man, you wearing it like it's a label. And here's why defining yourself by your pain is like a real problem. Because it shrinks your future. Like when your past becomes your definition, your vision gets smaller. You don't dream bold anymore because your past is still the loudest voice in your head. I always say that the most important voice you will ever hear, the most important message, most important sermon that you will ever hear is the one that you tell yourself. Always remember that you are listening to you. And then finally, it delays healing. See, if pain becomes your home, healing feels like betrayal. You start to believe that letting go means forgetting, and it's not. So you stay stuck. See, science has proven that your subconscious can't tell the difference between a real event and a memory that you rehearse emotionally. So the more you relive painful experiences, the more you reinforce neural patterns of pain. Because the truth is, the story you tell yourself becomes the life you live. So here's the now, your nugget of wisdom for this. Here's how we're going to recreate a new narrative now. I want you to identify the old narrative. So once you've identified the old narrative, then you must challenge the lie. Every limited story is built on a lie that felt like a truth. So you need to challenge it with logic and with scripture. You ask yourself, is this 100% true all the time? Is this how God sees me? Now, after you've challenged it, now I need you to replace it with a redeemed script. What I mean is, I want you to write a new internal script that reflects who you are becoming, not what you've been through. Keep it short, keep it sweet, make it powerful and personal. And I want you to say it in the mirror every day, in the morning and before you go to bed at night. Say it over and over and over until your subconscious believes it. If you enjoyed this video, then you will love how to achieve more in 7 days than most do in 1 year.